In just a matter of days, one of San Francisco's deepest position in wide receiver now looks pretty thin, with Pearsall being placed on the non-football injury list and Aiyuk seemingly ready to hold out. So this got me thinking about who could really succeed with them gone, and the player that I think could fill in nicely with Brandon Aiyuk on that outside receiver role is Tay Martin, the 6'3" wide receiver from Oklahoma State. He's been given the name Big Play Tay for his ability to make huge plays at crucial times, but will Tay Martin actually make a push for San Francisco's 53? We're about to find out. During his collegiate career, the big body wide receiver was extremely productive, putting up over 2,800 yards and 29 touchdowns. While Martin's big, he can also move pretty well. At his pro day, he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.58 seconds. But I think he plays a little bit faster than he tests. In college, you wouldn't really ever see him getting caught from behind, and he was a deep threat throughout his entire career. Where I think Martin really sets himself apart from other young wide receivers is his route running and quickness. Specifically for his routes, Martin has the unique ability to understand coverages and the best way to attack those coverages. Against a player playing man up on him, for instance, he'll utilize a double move even if the route doesn't necessarily call for it. But this does create tons of separation and makes him a friendly target to his quarterback. His bigger bodied frame and great hands also make him a successful red zone threat, because the quarterback can put it on his back shoulder or just throw it up there. And even when it's contested, he's usually coming up with it. During his first couple of years with San Francisco, we have seen Martin show these flashes he showed off in college, but he hasn't done enough to really grasp a roster spot, and the big reason I believe why is his blocking. In college, he would do a lot of running off of defenders, but you would rarely see Martin get in the defender's chest and then drive him down the field. He needed to work on getting into the defender in open space. And if there's one big sin on Kyle Shanahan's offense, it's not being able to block. So for the last 2 years, Kyle Shanahan has stashed away Martin on the practice squad, developing these skills. And it does appear Martin has improved substantially in this area. He also was elevated for the game versus the Commanders last year. So headed into this training camp and preseason, this may be the first extended opportunity he has to prove himself, not just to San Francisco, but the league as a whole. And ultimately, I think he'll be able to make a 53-man roster. He has a lot of what teams desire is size, quickness, and hands. But that doesn't necessarily mean I think he'll make San Francisco's 53. I think that more has to do if Pearsall's injury is more serious than anticipated, and if Brandon Aiyuk actually holds out during the training camp and maybe even into the season. If those things do transpire, Martin has a real shot of making the roster. But ultimately, these are just my thoughts about Tay Martin, and I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. I'd also like to hear which wide receiver you think is going to do the most with this opportunity. Will it be Cowing, Jennings, or maybe Martin? And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.